And it's Katie, and welcome to Classically Whack Podcast,
where we talk all things classical music and being black in the profession.
with trap beats playing in the background. How's it going, Dalanie?
It's going fine, sister.
Okay, unenthused and not convincing at all.
Well, the other day in my lesson, I couldn't convince my teacher that the thing I was playing was a major, so...
Well, that's like this time of the semester when teachers start getting petty.
Right. It's like, I can't... Yeah, you know, at this part, it's not really discernible whether or not it's a major or minor. I was like, wow. But you know what? I listened back to the tape, and at least he didn't lie to my face. So...
I was playing bar talk for Mr. Taylor. And he was like, okay, all this was fine. And then there was that one part, you just went off the deep end. And I was like...
Not the deep end.
It's like, you know, it's trifling when you be laughing at yourself. Like, I'm like, well, you were right.
Right.
I mean, because the intonation was, you know, where? I don't...
Impeccable, probably.
Me? Impeccable intonation?
Mm-hmm.
If I had impeccable intonation, you wouldn't be able to tell me anything. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm pressed. Pre-screenings are due. And I'm breathing hard. But you know what? This too shall pass, and we're going to pull it right on through.
All right.
You got news for us?
Sure do, sister. News this week comes in the form of an article that had been floating around about... Well, the title of the article had me looking sideways, but it says a rediscovered African-American female composer gets a publisher. Florence Price is not really rediscovered. We've been new, but you know what? I'm happy because somebody is publishing... Her music has been rediscovered recently.
She has an archive.
Maybe they're talking about things that weren't published. Maybe but I don't know why they would use rediscovered. Maybe, no, but you know what? She has known works that they knew she wrote, but they weren't published. So maybe they're those pieces. Okay. Because I've been planning that Black History Month recital for Black composers, and there are so many composers. There are composers where their entire, everything that they wrote says unpublished. So many pieces.
Yeah, that is true. Especially now I'm thinking, because I looked through Florence Price's archives a couple of years ago, and a lot of it's like, where do you even find this? Well, I think, if I don't remember correctly, I don't want to lie to y'all, but I think her daughter or something runs the archive, and like you can contact her and whatever and go look at her stuff, but I don't think a lot of her stuff is published at all. Her Symphony #1 is.
Right. Yeah, but she has a piano concerto that is going to be performed soon by Aaron Deal. I hope I'm not butchering his name. In the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra.
Is Aaron Black?
I have no idea. I don't know. That last name I'm looking.
That'd be cool though if it was by a Black pianist. There's plenty of Black pianists.
Yeah, right. Stuart Goodyear, the one who just released like an album. I meant to say that he released an album recently.
Really?
Yeah, I think some Beethoven piano sonatas or something like that.
Stuart Goodyear,
right? Okay,
if you don't care for your edges no more, you can go ahead and listen to him.
All right.
What? He's amazing.
Right. Because I remember seeing him with Gateways Festival Orchestra. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear some of her unpublished works, because that's a whole other episode talking about Black composers and how many. I had the whole encyclopedia, the newest volume of the Encyclopedia of Black Composers, and so many of them were unpublished. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. The next piece of news I have is an article from, it's on medium.com, but it's about the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra's talent development program, and it's highlighting their 25 year anniversary.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right. And they've been developing middle and high school Atlanta area musicians of African American and Latino heritage for careers as professional classical musicians, and has helped nurture nearly 100 young musicians to earn admission into the nation's top music schools. So they out here. They've had some really amazing alumni from
yeah,
that
that's what
program.
I'm saying. Isn't Drew Alexander Ford an alumni of that program? Or am I lying?
I don't know. I think Xavier Foley is. Which,
oh, okay.
What? When I tell you I did a masterclass with him, he was like, you just don't really have to worry so much about technique. I'm like, you don't have to worry so much about technique. Meanwhile, over here in mere mortal world,
right? The rest of us who gotta play scales every day, or we don't know where our fingers go.
When I tell you, like, the bass to him is like an extension of his body. Like, it's not even like, it just works. And I'm just like, what? Like, not to say he don't work hard, but still, like, it's just so talented. It's ridiculous. But and another, they highlight one of their alumni in this article, Kari Joyner, who's a cellist. I think he was in New World.
That sounds familiar. I'm not gonna be on here lying though.
Right. But he he's pursuing his doctoral degree at Juilliard.
You better.
Right, exactly. They also highlight harpist Angelica Hairston. She is one of only a few young African-American harpists into the leadership of Challenge the Stats, which is an organization devoted to finding tangible solutions toward a more equitable arts field. I've never heard of that. But she's also directing their urban youth harp ensemble. So out here doing big things.
Just so I'm not on here lying, Drew Alexander Ford did indeed go through that program, which makes a lot of sense.
Right, exactly. And their last alumni that they highlighted is Stanford Thompson, and he graduated in 2005, and he is a professional trumpeter, and he's also serving as the executive director of Play on Philly. This is the guy from the documentary.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's him.
That's amazing.
All right, so they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, so that's gonna be amazing, and congrats to them for doing all this great work.
Exactly. Right. That's incredible. Congrats to you guys and anyone who works with that agency.
Right, and their
alumni.
Yeah, and by the way, their 25th anniversary concert is at February 9th at Atlanta Symphony Hall. And we're moving on to intermission.
Okay, so this week for intermission, we're gonna play a little game called, it's not really a game, but whatever. Unpopular Opinions. Every once in a while I post like an unpopular opinion on my Instagram story, and it's usually I get met with people yelling at me like, what? I'm like,
extremely unpopular.
Anyway, so I thought I would ask you some unpopular opinions about just like regular stuff. Let's start easy first. What's an unpopular opinion? So this, in case you don't understand what this means, like, okay, so say for example, like everyone loves peanut butter and jelly, right? But you think it's trash.
I do.
Oh, well, wow. So peanut butter and jelly? See, I feel like we're going to disagree by the end of this. Peanut butter and jelly? What?
That's weird.
Especially with strawberry jelly? Anyway, that's not the point. It's something that people normally love that you are like, you don't like it. Okay, so speaking of food, let's start with food. What's an unpopular opinion you have about food?
I have two.
Wow.
So the first one, it's probably gonna make some of y'all mad, especially Black people. Seafood is gonna be an absolute no for me.
But that's different because aren't you allergic?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little bit different because I'm allergic to shellfish. But even if because I've had shellfish, that's how I know I'm allergic. Even though it definitely runs in my family, multiple family members are allergic. But what about crab legs was looking good to y'all?
Okay, listen, before I went vegan, I used to stand for crab legs.
Who was looking crab legs? First of all, they're so creepy looking. They all pointy and long.
Okay, well, you bust that joint open, you dip it in butter.
Okay, but who was looking at a crab walking and be like, give me some of that? What? They all, they look like little monsters. What about that looks good to y'all? They creep me out.
Crabs are creepy.
Like, they're really, really good. Imagine that walking.
And they walks on the side too.
I don't even want to think
of the little thing they be waddling.
I don't even want to think about that. Seafood in general, I eat salmon sometimes, but other than that, and then I used to eat like fried catfish. I don't really anymore, but that's a no for me. And then another thing that I was looking at last night, and I just don't understand what made y'all.
Here you go.
What made y'all stray so far from God's light, to make a sweet potato into a fry.
Sweet potato fries. Are you joking?
What is wrong with you
serious?
guys? What is
sweet potato fries with some barbecue sauce?
What is wrong with you?
What?
So first of all, sweet potatoes are heavenly and sent from above, and I just don't understand.
Especially them white joints, the Japanese sweet potato.
Oh, I don't know about it.
Listen,
but
you haven't had a sweet potato. You had a white Japanese sweet potato.
I don't know what that is.
It's normal. It's not like you ain't got to go to the back of the.
I never seen one, but I just don't understand why you guys took a sweet potato and threw dirt directly onto its name.
They are so. What is there not to like about sweet potato fries? I don't understand.
Sweet potatoes are not meant to be eaten that way.
There's a lot of things that we eat the way that we're not supposed to eat them.
I guess, and that's one of them.
If you gonna fry a fry, you might as well fry that sweet potato. I think a regular potato, you might as well fry a sweet potato.
But they sweet, and then they be mixing with the sweet and the savory.
Exactly.
It don't work for sweet potatoes for me. It just does not.
I think it's a very, very unpopular opinion.
Well, it's just gonna have to be because some joints nasty.
Okay, an unpopular opinion that I have, especially among the blacks, is I think watermelon is trash.
Oh, I didn't think that you were gonna say this one. I thought you were gonna say the other one. But
I mean, I can say that one too, but we could start with watermelon. Okay. I mean, if I'm at my grandma's house and like she's raving about the perfect watermelon she done found and oh my god, it's so sweet and blase blase, I might try to look corner of it, but I feel like it's such a pointless fruit. I'd just rather have a glass of water because it's like it's pointless.
I get that, but if you have one that tastes good,
it's literally okay. How rare?
All right. Well, during watermelon season. All right, let me ask you this.
Here you go.
Do y'all eat watermelon with salt and pepper on it?
And pepper? And pepper? I've heard of salt and pepper. Okay, you wishing it was chicken. What? You're the only one. And let me find out y'all doing that too. And pepper?
I think so, yeah.
No. First of all, well, it's like you can't season. Like, you know how if you eat a chip bag? You can't put seasoning on the chip bag and eat the chip bag. Like, watermelon's already trash. So there's not much you can do to this is
trash.
Oh, wow. Okay, my second unpopular opinion. Well, I don't think it's actually unpopular. I just think you and Jason don't like it.
No,
because
there are plenty of people with common sense who
mayonnaise is so good. But I don't think
literally the puke is on the brim of my esophagus.
I just don't think that's unpopular. That's why I didn't say it. Like a lot of people, black and white, like mayonnaise.
I just hope that we don't lose any listeners.
My main concern when I went vegan was, what am I going to do about mayonnaise? Like, it's like, what am I going to do? Like,
the right thing and never eat it again.
But I've tried lots of disgusting vegan mayo. But then I found my two go-tos, Just Mayo and the Hillman's has a vegan mayo. You couldn't even tell. Oh my, let's move on before Dalanie vomits over this mic. Unpopular opinion about Eastman. Wow.
A minefield.
Literally a minefield. Hey, J Moo. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I can go first.
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay, everyone adding me when I walk to class. I don't think theory is that bad here. Now, I will say that the grades that I have in theory, which none of y'all will see because that's my business, reflects the fact that my admissions letter said viola performance. So I will not be spending hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what a trimodular block is. That's not what I will be doing. However, I just don't think it's like this terrible thing. I learned a lot. Teachers are fantastic. So that's probably an unpopular opinion I have, because I could feel a lot of the Eastman students right now with they leaning in, looking at me.
It depends on what, because also
I'm also a grad student.
Yeah, and then some people learn from theory TAs, which is not the same thing.
I learned from theory TAs.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, not everybody has a good TA.
Mm-hmm.
People who know how to teach, and also I struggle with saying things that are not hard for people, because different things are hard for different people. So
right.
nobody's gonna tell me.
You're not gonna tell me what's hard and what's
exactly
not hard.
Like, oh, such and such not that hard. It's hard to me.
Exactly.
Like oral skills is very hard to me. It's so hard to me. Like I can't. Listen. We're not even gonna get into that. But that was going to be probably one of my, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion though. Because a lot of people say like that oral skills, it's not that hard. It's easier for some people. Mm-hmm. It's much, much harder for me. Mm-hmm. And also because here's an unpopular opinion. It's kind of specific. Melodic dictation is way harder than bass dictation.
That is such a bass player thing to say.
Well,
literally.
Bass dictation, I'd be like, all right, these my people. Here we go. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
I got all them pitches. You give me a melodic dictation, I'm like, what is those notes
that
up there?
hilarious.
I don't understand.
That is so funny.
I cannot follow no melody. They'd be like, what scale do we... Listen, you could throw any number out there and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right to me.
Hey, flat 7. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, right. It start on flat 7. Right. That I'm like that diminished chord. They were like, sis, that was a C major chord.
Let's move on. Okay. Unpopular opinion about a composer.
Those of y'all, and you're gonna agree with me on this.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, at least we agree on one thing.
Finally.
Those of y'all who are out there standing Debussy.
Why was that mine? Let's talk about it, sis. Because me personally, I don't like feeling in orbit when I listen. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, Debussy is, I'm not gonna say he's trash because that's not fair. But La Mer?
We playing La Mer next semester.
God be with you.
I don't know nothing about it. Well, not that I don't know anything about it. I've played an excerpt from it, but I don't really like know it like that. Because I remember they played at the music festival I was at over the summer. I was not present for that concert.
This is like, I guess Claire de Lune is okay. He wrote that, right? Like, I just
wow.
Like Prelude to the Afternoon of a Fawn. We played that junk last year. Like, I just don't
want any parts of what he has to say.
I just don't understand the fascination. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm sure like some of y'all for any reason that's unknown to me don't like Tchaikovsky. I can't see why.
Right.
But just so keep that energy when you can't see why I don't like Debussy. I cannot get with it. I just
I just like having a pulse.
In direction,
right.
And like what day it is.
Right, exactly.
It's like basic.
Debussy is like when you wake up from a long nap, you got the print pillow on your face.
Literally.
You don't know where you at,
right?
What time it is.
But it's like, how when you jump up from one of them naps, you like jump up. Debussy is like, it's like one of them dreams you have where like you can't wake up.
You know exactly what Debussy is like. You remember on SpongeBob when Squidward was alone? And he was in that white little realm, and he said alone, and it would just echo and the different. That's exactly what Debussy is.
Literally, that's how you feel while you dreaming, and you wake up, you got that all in your face, and you don't know where you at, and you feel like you can't move. Debussy,
you float in an atmosphere. Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow. What about? Let's do a couple more. An unpopular opinion about practicing. Why your face look like that?
Unpopular opinion is that
do not be trifling. Literally, the way you fixing your mouth.
I don't know. But I can't really tell if this if it's an unpopular opinion or not, because I don't talk to people about practicing because that's my business. Mm-hmm. And I don't usually use the P word if I'm, just out and about.
Is that what I mean?
Right, because I don't want to ruin my mood. That's probably already not the best anyways.
And I like being happy. And
right.
As of right now, never mind. Go ahead.
A practice journal will help you if you use it the way that's right for you. I feel like there's no one way to do it. And if you play around with it, that did wonders for me.
That's an unpopular opinion that you...
I don't know. Journal? It depends. It depends on the way that you use it. I feel like some people think because I used to think that a practice journal, because we used to have practice logs.
That a practice log is the most raggedy thing. I feel like that's
it's a little different.
Your public school teacher gave you that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a rookie mistake though. I would never give my kids a practice log. First of all, I ain't gonna put my mom out there, but what's sign anything. If I timed it right. Okay, me practicing for 40 hours every day. She just signed that junk before she dropped me off. Like, I'm not giving my students a practice log.
Right.
For what? Mm-hmm. I might ask my students. I have one of my students who does not practice. She needs to tell me what days she practiced on, just so because I'm trying to see something. Mm-mm. like her lessons on Tuesday, and the last day that she'll practice is like Sunday. And I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense because now you've gone and now you fumbling, you don't remember what it looked like,
right.
you know. My unpopular opinion about practicing is not really about practicing. It's kind of like about, I think rosin. I just don't like rosin. Like I know that sound dumb because you need rosin, but I just do not use it.
And yet you still got that big old sound. How you do that?
Shut up. I literally, first of all, when I play in the studio, I try not to make Mr. Taylor peep my bow because he'll literally rosin it in front of everybody for like 40 consecutive minutes. So now you over here, now he's like, because he stands for rosin. So now you playing and there's a hole in the ozone layer because he done put there's so much cloud around you. And then also I put a little swipe 1, 2, and then I wait for that joint to feel like Kanekalon braiding hair before I put any more rosin on it.
Wow.
Like I just don't like rosin.
You still got that big old sound.
No, I have an sound.
No, you said yourself that you have a big sound.
It can be booming, yes, depending on the room.
No, not depending on the room.
Okay, let's move on.
We was in a regular classroom, sis.
Can we just move on?
And second of all,
wow.
I get told to use more rosin a lot. And I feel like I do be using more rosin. I think because it's dry here right now.
And I just don't like the way too much rosin feels under my in my hands. It's just weird. I'm really weird about that.
I was in this one rosin. I literally like when your bow gets stuck, because you know some of the rosin be like super glue. But I get told to. I've had like 4 consecutive people tell me to use more rosin.
Really? I mean, I just don't like the way it feels. Okay. One more. Give me an unpopular opinion about a symphony.
Maybe you should go first. I had one, but I don't remember it.
Brahms 2 is trash. I mean, it's just in comparison to Brahms 1 and then Brahms 3. Brahms 3? What? And then Brahms 4, and then Brahms 2.
Wow.
Like, what happened? Like, I don't know. I think trash is hard because I stand for Brahms because he gave us 2 viola concertos. You gave us a clarinet concerto, but whatever. You gave us really good chamber music. Symphonic writing is good, but I can't get into Brahms 2.
Okay, so I now remember my opinion about a symphony. Beethoven 5 is not overrated. I don't think it's overrated, and I only think it's overplayed if you overplay it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, people be like, like, I don't hear Beethoven 5 everywhere, and every now and then I sit down and listen to it, and the junk goes.
Nah, I don't do that. I won't listen to Beethoven 5.
Well, I think it goes. And not to say that other people don't, but everybody be like, it's so overplayed.
Is it? I just don't think it's overplayed.
Yeah, I don't. Like, I get it. It's one of the most popular, and like a lot of people who are not musicians will recognize Beethoven 5. But it's a whole symphony. It's not just dun 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 dun.
Exactly.
Okay, me adding one in there.
Adding a note.
My tongue skipped.
Yeah. I'm weird about Beethoven symphonies. While I enjoy them, I rather play them instead of listen to them. So if I'm queuing up my Spotify, I'm not gonna play the Beethoven.
I'll listen to 5 and 9, and I listen to 9 when I'm like need to pass time. If I'm like on a drive.
You listen to classical music on a drive? That's weird to me.
Or on a plane. I listen to 9 because I know, like, okay, I listened to the symphony all the way through. We an hour and 5 minutes into this flight.
If you have any unpopular opinions about the stuff that we said, we love to hear them. Make sure you comment below. And we're moving on.
All right, y'all. So this week we're going to be talking about a topic that heavily influenced the start of this podcast. Black people not talking to each other in white-dominated spaces. Right. So we're just going to be talking about our experiences with that issue and, you know, how it's influenced us and why we think that is, like, why we think that this is an issue and what makes people not want to talk to other black people around them. But
it blows my mind.
Right.
Okay, that's what y'all doing. Look, I ain't here to judge, but I'm here to judge. Because
wow.
I am kidding. I ain't judging nobody but these raggedy notes. Okay.
Well, anyway, now that we're back on topic.
All right.
Katie, can you remind us a little bit about your background, studying music, and what your interactions have been like with Black people in the field?
Yeah, so I didn't really notice like how, like, I think from the beginning I knew I was like one of few, just because like when I was in high school, I was the only Black person in symphony orchestra. I mean, like the Black people were in string orchestra, and that was lit. Like I took string orchestra. What I took, cause that's when I met like Nikki. That's when I met Erica. Like string orchestra was always lit. It was the Black people that like parents say you playing violin until you graduate high school. So my senior year, I was like, oh, I would take that too. So I like I play violin in the string orchestra, but in symphony orchestra, that was fun too. And it was first violin. We played a whole pack. I was always but
You're versatile.
not versatile. You get to read treble clef, play viola.
It's still different instrument.
Anyway, back on track, like you said. But in symphony orchestra, I was in symphony orchestra as a freshman, so I was the only Black person. That's not true. I forgot about Eugene. But after Eugene left, I was the only Black person in there from my sophomore to my senior year. So I was kind of used to being one of only. I was used to not interacting with Black people in that space, except for like string orchestra my senior year. But because it was in the high school environment, I never really was like, oh, this is separate. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a part of school, you know, and then I went to my classes or whatever. I had my Black friends there. So because it was high school, it was just never like, we not seeing Black people and not interacting. Like even if we don't know you, be like, hey, what up though? You know, it's like, it's not whatever. So when I got to undergrad and it was different because I was still like one of the only, but it was different because like the 3 Black people that were there when I got there were both grad students. And like I talk to underclassmen now here at Eastman, like that's not something I think about, but to understand why I wasn't running around with those 2 makes a lot of sense, because it's like you're not gonna really hang out with freshmen. I talk to freshmen here, but talking and like hanging out are like, I think, 2 different things. So that's my background. This whole issue really came up when we got to Eastman, but it has nothing to do with Eastman. It's just, I think I don't really know what's wrong with y'all, but but how about you, Dalanie? Remind us of your background so we can just put this conversation in context.
So it's kind of the same in that I've never really noticed it until I got to Eastman, but that's mostly just because I was around nothing but Black people anyway.
Hey,
right.
Lit, Loki.
Lit from birth,
right, right.
But I don't know, because even in an orchestral setting, like I learned how to play music in Yola, and that's all Hispanic or Black people. Is based like in an area that's all Hispanic and Black people. Mm-hmm. I was in Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles. It's literally an orchestra of all Black people. There's probably like 2 people in the orchestra that are not Black. Like, so I don't know. Like it was like I don't want to use a word that's like, oh, it was a ratchet orchestra, but like we was lit during orchestra break. We was like, what y'all out there doing in it? Like it was still like we were dummy Black, like still, you know, playing our instruments, but we were still like out here late on orchestra break, like. Mm-hmm. So it's always been sort of like, yeah, me and my Black friends. And even when the only place that I had that was a little bit different was my high school. My high school was not overwhelmingly white. It was very diverse. Like it was just everybody. But I was like, there were like barely any Black people in orchestra. Most of the Black people were like in theater and dance department. Right. But I never really noticed that I was the only Black person there. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel weird to me, probably because I passed Black people in the hallways all the time.
Exactly. And I agree.
And my other Black friends were singers or something, so there were Black people in the music department. Right. But I also had been to some summer festivals in which there were like no Black people. Mm-hmm. So I guess you could say it started before Eastman, but that's a little bit different because we were young. Like I was like 12. Right. So I wasn't that's like different. Yeah. So. Yeah. it was still different. Like, I wasn't really, even though my mom was down in my ear talking about represent, look out for, you know, other Black people, it still wasn't, I didn't really understand the importance of talking to other Black people as much as I do now. So, I mean, according to my background, like, it really hadn't even been an issue until coming to Eastman.
So we both said, like, okay, when we got to Eastman, when's the first time you noticed, like, yo, is there, like, am I invisible? Like, is there something on my face? Why y'all, like, not? Because I know, you know, I'm dummy short, so I'm like, I can't be that short.
All right.
Like, when is the first time you noticed,
some
like,
of y'all that know Katie 4'7".
are you done? I am 5 feet and a half of an inch.
Okay.
Flex. Right, flex. No, and I'm still look. I could be short, small, but mighty. I'll get you by your ankles. What you finna do?
She's gonna say that.
What you finna do? Nothing. You ain't finna do nothing.
All right.
Okay, let me relax.
Right. Okay. Nobody do nothing to you. I'll get you by your ankles. Like, dang.
Okay.
But
when's the first time you noticed Dalanie?
Right. Something weird about folks over in this neck of the woods. It does not matter whether you have talked to them before or not. They will look straight through you.
I don't get that.
I really do not. Like, I would walk. There have been times where it has been not another soul on the sidewalk but me and that other person who I have spoken to before, and they will look straight past me like they didn't see me.
That blows my mind.
And I'll be looking right at them like an owl with my neck turned all the way around, like, just waiting. When you gonna notice me?
Shut up.
Because you know I'm here.
Right,
like,
right.
It's crazy to me that people do that. And, you know, I came here seeking out a Black community, but, you know, having...
That's when you first messed up.
Wow. I mean, that's not why I came here, but I'm saying, like, when I got here, I was like, so how can I get involved with the Black people
Yeah,
here?
I get it. Yeah.
Because I went to look at BSU, but to be in University of Rochester BSU as an Eastman student it's very, like, time consuming, and it just doesn't work out with our schedule because their classes are set up different.
Right.
It's stuff on a whole other campus, the bus schedule, like, it just doesn't really work. So, you know, I came here thinking that that's what I was going to do, and it didn't work out, and then had literally nothing to fall back on because that's what was happening with all the other Black people that I didn't really know any of them personally, but the ones that I had even spoken to, most of them were not trying to be engaged with me at all. There was some where we were, you know, we talked a little bit, but even that took some time to come to fruition. But what about you? When was the first time you noticed?
Well, because of my experience in undergrad and because of my experience in high school, I came to Eastman with zero expectation, especially now that it's like, oh, now we up echelon, like, this is Eastman, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, ain't gonna be nobody here. And I got here, first of all, shout out to Richard. I freaking saw him at the I'm laughing because I think about it. I saw him at the theory placement exam.
He did mine too.
But he was taking it because we came in together.
Oh, I see.
So I saw him at the theory placement. I'm like, who is this dude with headphones on in the theory who didn't take them off?
Of course not.
And I was like, hey, yo, whatever. But, like, he swears up until this day he ain't seen me. I'm like, but you lie like a rug.
But then you said the same thing about me. I feel like you're the common denominator.
We not there yet, but we gonna get there. So, and then literally I didn't see Richard again until, like, last year. Because Richard is sparse. Sparse. So that's like, so I didn't really, whatever. There is another student that I came in with, and I was like, oh, I'm coming in with a Black person, like, we gonna be lit, blase. And let's just say it just didn't work out. And it was really weird to me, like, we would never hang out. And let me be clear with something, right? I'm a person that enjoys my own company. I could be at the house chilling on my phone on Instagram. That's like where you would normally find me. Fix your face, Dalanie. That's where you would normally find me.
Wow.
On my couch on Instagram. So whatever. I'm not expecting anyone to talk to me. I'm not demanding anyone to talk to me. I'm not expecting anyone to talk to me. I'm just saying, like, I thought I came with another Black person. I'm like, okay, good, we're gonna be lit. And it just didn't work out. So that's probably the first real time I noticed. And then one day, y'all, I was walking to class. It was like October, and I saw Dalanie, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was another black girl that went here. Like, oh, okay, lit, we lit. Like, let's turn up. So I looked at her because I'm from the Midwest. So in the Midwest, like, you look at people, you smile.
You're not gonna put me out here
and
because I smile at people on the sidewalk.
And that's fine, but I'm just telling you what happened on this day. So I walk into class and I saw Dalanie and I smiled at her, literally looked the other way, kept going.
I would never do that.
And that's fine. You probably just don't recall.
No, I literally would never do that to somebody.
I mean, maybe you didn't see me. Maybe you didn't see me smile at you. I don't know how you couldn't see me. We're literally the only two black people on the sidewalk.
But you see how the same exact thing happened with Richard, and you see who the common denominator is. You're
not gonna have this on me. First of all, Richard's aloof. That's the first thing.
Well,
secondly, I can see it played back in my head right now. You literally look
there have been several scientific studies that show that memory is
not this faulty. Memory.
Well, we don't know about that, but you know.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think that was a day, not you specifically, but that's kind of when I was like,
you saying I'm the one that put this
okay, you see how she just like, I literally just said not you specifically. I literally just said not you. So podcast over.
No, but you sprinkled that on top so you can be like, oh yeah, not you specifically, but you specifically. Like, nah.
Anyway, I'm just saying around that time. How about that?
See,
I'm just playing. But okay, fine. I just decided no one involved, since Delanie's so sensitive. I was just like, okay, this is what we doing. Like, this is literally it. Like, I didn't. And now, meanwhile, we had a time Adam was here. Shout out to Black Excellence. There was a couple of black vocalists. We got black conductors here, and I'm like, I guess we just all doing our own thing. Right. Like, I was like, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, like, that's what we could do.
Dang. So why do you think that is, that people don't want to talk to other black people when they're in places like this?
I personally think, first of all, I talked to one of the professors who was on the diversity chair. Here, diversity chair, what? What does that even mean? Okay, multiple people on one chair. Okay, sitting on top of each other.
Jenga.
I talked to one of the professors that was on the diversity committee here at Eastman. And he was like, people just rather hang out with their instruments. And I was like, what?
Speak for yourselves.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I guess people want to, instead of going out of your way to be with the blacks, you rather just hang out with your own people. Now, listen, I actually really like my viola studio. The studio has changed a lot since I came here. I ain't gonna say too much, but it's gotten... Stop. It's
wow.
I like my studio. I also liked it when I came in, but right now it's just like I'm really liking it. However, I don't hang out with one of them violas. I just don't. It's like, you know what, like, to me it's like, I don't want to talk about bar talk with you. Now I will say, my shout out to Cindy. I love Cindy. I hang out with Cindy all the time. Cindy saves my life a lot of times too, you know what I'm saying? So but Cindy's probably the only violist I hang out with, and not by choice, but it's like people you're drawn towards. I'm not drawn towards the violas. I'm just not. There's other people. I'm also a grad student, so in the violas in my specific studio, out of the 20 of us, I'm one of 4 or 5 grad students. So meanwhile, there's like 80 grad students at Eastman, or 100 grad students at Eastman. So my people aren't even in my studio. So I'm going to seek out the people I hang out with regularly, besides the black people here at Eastman, are graduate students that I came in with. I hang out with music ed people. So it's like, I can see what he's saying. I'm like, when I look at my friend group before we started this, like, what we doing with the black people, it was like, okay, I hang out with, besides the violas, I hang out with music ed, you know what I'm saying? I hang out with grad students. So you rather hang out with like things that people want to hang out with their instruments, you know? So that's like that's the only theory. Also, it's the thing about, I guess, people don't want to be seen talking to the only other black person in the room.
I'm more than fine.
To me, I feel like, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's some type of like self-hate thing. I'm just gonna be real. Like, you don't, because like because I was talking to my aunt about this one time, actually, about people not wanting to be seen talking to them. Why not?
Right.
Because when you see white people talking to each other, you see Asians talking to each other, Hispanics talking to each other, like, you're not like, oh, there goes some Asians again talking to each other. Like, what? You don't, like, I feel like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. And it's like, for black people, it's like, oh, I'm not going to speak, like, why?
People got all these things that are embedded in their in just the way that they think about what a group of black people gathering and talking to each other means or indicates, So I feel like people are already on alert, looking at it sideways when we all grouped up. And y'all could just mind your business.
You really could.
It's easy. It's free. I do it every single day.
Your edge will keep flourishing if you mind your own business.
I mean, I could honestly be the spokesperson for minding your business.
I mean, I will do that. I am an advocate for minding your business. I think it's good.
Right.
I think it's sustainable.
Right. Classically Black Podcast is actually officially endorsing minding your own business on this episode.
Listen,
y'all heard it here first.
Mind your business. But I don't know. I just don't understand, like, all that, like, embedded, like, self-hate, like, oh, I'm not talking to only the black person because of course I'm talking to the only black person. I go to a room, I'll be like, any black people in here?
Right, exactly.
Especially in music.
I don't want to talk to y'all, to other bass players about the same 4 concertos that we got. I don't care what concerto you playing. I could take a guess right now and get it. Like,
and you know what? I spent so much, to no one's fault, but I spent so much of my studies as a violist thinking I was the only one, like thinking I was something special. And I'm not saying I'm not, but it's just like, I literally thought I was the only, can you relax? I literally thought I was the only black violist. I went to school with Andrew Francois, so I knew he was out here. I'm like, okay, us too. Meanwhile, Gateways is deep with black violas. It literally, so who I was talking to? I was talking to Peyton the other day. Yeah, I ran into Peyton outside of Hatch. And he was like, you know, when I think about black string players, they're like all violas. And I'm like, exactly.
They are. We got 4 black violas here.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
We got 4 black violas.
We try to program not we. Yeah. I ain't doing nothing. You try to, I mean, it's real. Like, Dalanie down on this recital. Dalanie programming the recital we want to do during Black History Month. The selection.
Right. Viola duet, viola trio, viola quartet, viola solo. Like,
like, it's deep. Like, black violas are deep here. I mean, respectively, because it's viola. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, out of all the instruments, for me to think I was alone.
Right. We have no shortage of singers and, vocalists. We learned that yesterday. Yeah, the difference between a singer and a vocalist. Right. We have no shortage of violists and vocalists here.
Right. It's so the thing. So for me, when I go into a space, a classical space, like if I'm at an audition, I'm like, where the black people at? Y'all
right.
here? Like, hey y'all.
What are we doing afterwards?
This is like, I don't know. I just can't. And also, like, listen. I'm of a particular age.
Oh my God, you in this particular age?
Listen. So it's just like, I'm grown. All right. So I'm not. I don't care what y'all think, because meanwhile, every first of the month, my landlord contacting me. Every 15th, CarMax is contacting me. Ain't contacting nobody else. So I don't care what you think. Like, if you see me squat up, like, in Lori Hall, right, with a gaggle of us, Kiki Keen, mind your business. Keep walking. Like, I don't know. So we talk about, like, black people not talking to each other. Like, how did you feel about that?
I was deep in my feelings. Well, not at first.
Yeah, you were really affected by it, right?
Yeah, I was, because I don't even want to think about that time. Like, I was just so, by the time I got to my, like, close to spring break in my freshman year, I just wanted to go home so badly, and I never get homesick. Like, and I wasn't even like, I just miss black people. Like, I think I might have said this on another episode. I have a friend that goes to Spelman, and I'm like, can you just put the camera out on the quad so I could see? I call her up, I'll be like, girl, I ain't seen a black person in days. Like, said like that thing for the Titanic. She's like, it's been 84 years.
All right.
That's me. She called me. I'm all pale because my melanin deficiency.
All right. Actually, I'm ready to go. Thank you so much for listening to Classically Black Podcast.
Because like I was deep in my feelings, and it's just because I didn't realize, like, since I've always lived in a black neighborhood, a neighborhood that is so black that if I saw a white person there, I would literally do a quadruple take. Because they're just never there. Like,
Right.
Look, what are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't want to be like, get out of my, you know?
Right.
But, like, it's just not, you just don't see them there.
Right.
So I've just been in black neighborhood, black orchestra, black family, black church, like
Blacky black.
Exactly. Like, to come here and then, like, and I've been in situations similar to this, like when I was at Interlochen for the summer. That was 6 weeks, but I was like, it'll just be like that but longer. But I didn't realize how deeply that was going to affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're around black people, we're making like cultural references that only we, references to how we grew up. Like, everybody mama did the same,
right?
Like, all that. So, like, I just didn't realize that, like, a lot of people are like, oh, being black is not all of me, and I can separate that from blase. I can't. That being black for me is like intertwined in literally everything that I say and do, the way I speak, the way I act, everything. It's just like it's a little bit of black in literally everything.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way. Remember at Sphinx when we went to the thing on code switching. We gotta say this for another episode.
You're annoying for that. I remember that.
I didn't mean for it to be that loud. But I'm just like, listen, I'm black, yo. Like, I don't know. Someone said something like, he was like, code switching is like hard or whatever. I'm like, yup, that's why I don't do it. And I didn't know it was that loud.
Like, that's why I don't do it. I was like, the girl in front of us turned around,
started laughing. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't know it was that loud. Because what you see is what you get with me. It's like I was like, everything I do is black because it's who I am, and like everything I do is Jamaican. Like, stuff, if you're around me long enough, stuff will slip. Like yesterday at the taco night, I was like, even little things like I was like,
you hot this up?
Yeah, you gotta hot this up. Richard was like, hot this up? I'm like, if I hot it up, yes. Or it's like, even like in my lessons, Miss Taylor be like, play that again. I'd be like,
right.
Or like Melissa asked me about one of the excerpts this semester is Don Quixote, and I was like, she was like, do you know the story of this? I'm like, yup, Don Quixote and his little friend Sancho Panza or whatever. And she was like, no, I was like, because it's so black to be like his little friend, like your mom be like, your little friend or whatever.
I'm not one of your little friends,
right? So I was like, yeah, Don Quixote and his little friend, and she was like, what's the friend's name? And I'm like, I don't know. Ray and them.
What happened? Oh, on the Thanksgiving episode when you was like, yo, TT called you and said, and I said, I literally have a name TT.
Like, I don't separate. And I'm not gonna front like I didn't, because I think a lot of black people from my high school, if you will attest to the same thing. I'm not gonna say all of us, but if you were of the black people that were taking the AP classes and were taking the honors classes, you're literally separate from, like, if I wanted to have like black interaction, like, we lit, that's for lunch and PE, flat out. Because aside from that, like, you're in these classes, there's only a few of you who are taking the AP and the honors classes, and you're spread out among several sections, among several teachers. So this idea of like having to put on a voice and having to like code switch and stuff like that, it was deep. And like, I literally got exhausted of doing that. So I couldn't find that voice for you if you put it in Google Maps. Like, I literally, like, what you see is what you get.
That's exactly what it was. Like, that's what pushed me like over the edge of wanting to go home so badly. It was because I never felt comfortable being myself here, like, and I had to undo a lot of that, like how you talking about the white voice and the code switching, and it's so second nature to me, because every time I would go to a place, I apply to a lot of private schools, a lot of those really, really fancy private schools, like when I was a kid, and going to, you know, every now and then I would go into a space that was like really, really white, and my mom would always tell me, represent. And I know that was with good intention, but that really instilled in me that like I may be the first Black person this person has ever met, and I have to, the way I act right now is going to could shape the way that they see all Black people. So now I'm all on edge. I'm not being myself. I'm sure that was not her intention by telling me that, but like that is still like to this day something I'm having to work out of, because I have met people where I can tell I'm the first Black person they've ever met, which is insane to me. Yeah, because Black people are everywhere. Like
literally I mean,
what world do you live in when you don't see Black people? Like,
and I mean, like for me, it's like if I were to hear something like that, like I feel like I still represent. First of all, like I speak the way I speak, but I can speak in coherent sentences, because even though you might see me lit like, hey, what we in? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not walking past Dean Rossi being like, hey, what up, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about today? You know, there's like, what we finna do? We might could go over there to the
you know, I love me a good mic could.
Y'all be taking me down with that. I hate that.
I love it. You might could do da. I love it.
Like, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, even though my teacher, whatever, we be in there throwing shade back and forth, it's like he's still my teacher. He's still professor of viola. I'm not in there like, Mr. Taylor, so I ain't practiced this because like that's not there's literally a time and a place. I go into my lessons professional. Good morning, Mr. Taylor, this is what I'm working on today. Can you help me with this? Whatever. Can you listen to this? Time and a place. But I'm like, for me, like that, like high school, like my Blackness isn't good enough type like mentality. I'm not doing that anymore. So like I don't know. Like, I'm just in this new place in my life. I love our Cremaine had me cracking up one time because he went to go see the Reed live, and he was like, he called me. He's like, girl, I just want to see the Reed live. I said, really? Where? He was like, yeah, but I couldn't have been in there with you because.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding?
He's like, girl, I couldn't have been in there with you because you would have ascended to a level that. I was like, if you don't get off my phone.
Right, because me and Katie don't stop. It don't matter what hour of the night it is. We on 10.
It don't matter.
At least.
And meanwhile, 10 seconds before, we're just playing, I'm so tired. My eyes are burning.
Right, but once one of us gets started, it's building up to.
After Jasmine's recital today. Okay, lark. Okay, right. Floating above. Right. Tweet, tweet, tweet.
She came out there, Jasmine, her sound, she sounded like a lark. And I was like, okay, tweet, tweet.
But that's like, imagine if we didn't talk to each other.
Right.
Especially like, I think she was happy with her performance, but there was something that went wrong that she was upset about. And, you know, just having people pipe you up and be like, oh girl, I didn't know you created the oboe. Like, okay, like, oh shoot, okay, look out.
Right.
Now your professor sweating because job on the line. It's like, it's just, I don't know. It's just amazing.
Right. I literally got to a point, like, I think I mentioned this briefly. I got to a point where I was so uncomfortable being myself, like, just because in the thing about my experience here, like socially, I feel like I really gave it the old college try. I am not a social person. I do not like being out here. I will rather be hungry than get out of my bed and go get some food.
That which blows my mind. Delaney, let's pull over. Delaney annoys me, or annoys my spirit to a point. You got to Delaney, it'd be like 9:00. She'd be like, well girl, come on, we have to hurry up and do this because I only had a Jolly Rancher and some Pepsi today. I'm like,
what? You never had a Delaney lunch before?
It's annoying. You came over here today eating a Jolly Rancher.
I did.
Okay, lunch.
All No, but what was I
you being social.
Right. And I literally went to big parties. I went to frat parties. I went to studio. Right. I was trying literally anything. I went to studio parties.
Cool. Frat party? We're not talking about the cues. We're talking about the...
All right. Right, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take a walk with this person. I went to things that I knew in the back of my mind I would not like, but I was like, never say never. Let's just see, whatever. And I feel like I really, really tried. I went to a whole bunch of different things, talked to a whole bunch of different people. It just never clicked. I was like, my sense of humor, black, my everything, like, it's just, and not that I can't be I'm not saying I can't be friends with with white people and people that are not black, because I do have a couple, but like the bulk of my
I hang out with you a lot, for sure, but even like my Megan, Letitia, like those people are not black, and I
people are like, Letitia not black?
No, not come for Letitia, but like Letitia, Megan, Christina, who's no longer here. I think she's student teaching right now. I haven't spoken to her in a little minute, but like the friends who the people I hung out with when I first came here, not black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm incapable. Also, shout out to my friend Eileen, like one of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not incapable of hanging out with, you know what I'm saying? But like sometimes we'll get there. Like sometimes it's just like you want to feel like you belong to something, and it's hard to feel that sometimes.
Right. It just was not working for me. Like I would literally get to my room after being in class all day, and the second I closed my door, it was like an exhale. Like wow, my gosh, like I could finally be myself.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Like it was bad by that time. I just felt so buttoned up all the time because I could not figure. And I remember when you said that. When you said that at Sphinx, I don't do it. I literally it sounds so dumb when I say it, but I was like, it literally never occurred to me just to not do it.
I literally you just stop. You stop.
But I got back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop. And then I just could not, like,
you stop turning on the voice. You stop thinking that you're not good enough. You stop. I mean, you go, girl, and I'll be too exhausted anyway. I say any old thing anyway. I have to remind myself in my music ed seminars to be like, girl, you gotta speak in coherent sentences. We can't be like, girl, anyway, wrap it up, like, like
right. But sometimes you let things slip. Like when you was working, what you say? You say, oh yeah, they not down for that.
Freaking Austin, that was hilarious. So what Dalanie talking about? So I was an orientation assistant this year. So the director of student activities asked me to make a call. He asked me to make a call to like find out something about some chairs or something. I don't know what he needed. So I go to him and I'm like, yeah, so they're not down for that, blah, blah, blah. He was like, word, girl. Because he was like, where did that come from? What are you talking about? And I was like, man, my bad. Because again, like, I don't code switch, but there's a time and a place. So if you want to call that code switching, you can, but I think code switching is completely different. Yeah. For me, I really operate by time and place. Like, I really shouldn't have been like to my boss. And like now he's no longer my boss, so like we're friends. So I might be like, hey, what up, Austin? You know what I'm saying? But what's good? He no. But like in that context, he was my boss, so I really shouldn't have been like. So anyway, like hey, they said like they not really down for that. You know what I'm saying? What like blase blase? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if I said all that to him?
He literally look at you like he was speaking Japanese.
But so what made us start thinking about this topic? And I think we kind of alluded to this like on our very first episode.
Right. So I think the main thing that made us start thinking about this is when we finally met, and the way in which we met was ridiculous.
Like what?
So for those of y'all that don't remember, we talked a little bit about this in our pilot episode. But me and Katie met. First of all, we came into Eastman the very same year, 2016. We met in 2018.
It was 2018.
We haven't even known each other for a year yet.
Oh shoot!
We met in 2018 in a whole other state.
Mind you, we could have met in Rochester, but I didn't even put together the fact that you and Richard were going to the Sphinx as well. So, and also like because I had my viola with me, I don't play that. Like I'm boarding when I'm supposed to board. So they said group 3. I said, do. Here we go. so I can put my viola in the thing and close it. So yeah, I literally met you, and I met you. We talked a bit at the airport, and then we got separated. Mm-hmm. And then I think I saw you by chance, like by the elevators. I was like, Dalanie, we getting some Chinese or something. We were doing something.
Right. And I was like, let me get her number because I'm not finna get left out here.
Like, it was just insane. And then we came back, and then we like literally we could have met down the street.
Exactly.
But we met in a whole
other state.
And it's embarrassing, low
like
key.
Almost 2 years later. Like
that's low key embarrassing.
Yeah.
I ain't finna because it's like, and it's not like Eastman's not a big place.
It's not.
But but so you know everyone. But I've seen Dalanie around, and it's like, I guess it's kind of weird to go up to somebody. I mean, like Jasmine will tell you, I literally went up to her, I'm like, hey girl, so what we making tacos? What we doing? Sushi? What we doing? But and I think it's because of what happened at Sphinx why I'm kind of like that now. Like I'll be like, so hey girl, whatever. When I saw Adrian, I was like, hey, so we're in the same studio.
Right. When I saw Brianna, I was like, hey.
Right.
Meanwhile, she met me with all kind of whatever, but we cool now.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like important. Like if that's what if you want to be involved in Blackness, you just got to seek it out and just like try to build a community, because I think it's important, especially like when I tell you, like ever since I met like the majority of the friends that I have now, like Kermaine, Jason, Eddie, Marco, when I met them at Gateways and then later at Color Music, it's like it's been like my sis Caitlin, shout out to Caitlin, it's just been like a completely different experience in classical music, because no one is going to ride for you. Now listen, I'm not saying your other friends aren't gonna ride for you, because Cindy surely did message me and say, hey sis, the application for so and so orchestra, because I ain't putting my business out there, is due today, did you turn it in, but that's in my experience, that's rare.
Yeah.
And that's why when I saw that message, I'm like, bless your heart. Right, like I'm like, that's how I'm like, Cindy's a real one, you know what I'm saying? But no one will ride for you like that, because that group chat we have, it's like, it's actually like normally group chats annoy me, but it's like 50% trifling, 50% like, girl, did you apply to this? Is due today. Right. Did you do to this orchestra? What about this fellowship? Did you apply to this thing? They got travel money for this. You got this. Right. Did you apply to this conference? We going to this thing. Like it's always, it's like, especially when we get to the height of audition season, it's like every day there's something in there. Did you apply to this thing? Is due today. That like meanwhile you have people in your own studio that will look you in your face and not tell you anything.
Exactly, because and a lot of people will look at things that they don't qualify for and then exit right out. Meanwhile, if I see something, if I can't do it, even if I can do it, even if I am doing it, but especially if it's something that I can't apply for, I'm flipping through my mental Rolodex. Who do I know that fits this qualification that could apply for this?
Like Minnesota, I saw Minnesota put that, when I put that thing in the group chat the other day, I came across that like that second. Yeah. And I'm like, well, if I can't get it, I'd rather Jason, Caitlin, Kermaine get it than you know what I'm saying? Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just don't understand. Like, I just don't have that experience thus far with something competitive like this. I'm not talking about my friends who be like, girl, did you do your homework today? It's due today. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like people who just like make sure you're good. I could text Richard anytime and be like, yo, can you help me with this? He'd be like, as long as he's not, whatever, teaching a class, he'll be like, yeah, whatever, I got you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so different when you have a community of people. It's not even just like your friends. You have like a community of people that are just looking out for you. Like they want you to do well. And it's just like, in my experience, I just don't have that. You have people who will make you take L's and watch you take an L just to knock you off, your game, just to lessen the competition. I'm like, you look dumb. You look stupid. You know why? Because when the last time when St. Louis Orchestra Symphony did their viola audition, not St. Louis, it was like Cincinnati, some like 120 violas showed up. You're gonna have competition everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, it doesn't make sense. You might as well ride. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we could call Cremain at any time. Literally.
He answers no matter what.
Shout out to Cremain, friend of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had people calling me being like, "Are you good?" You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just different, and I don't know. It's just like been like the best. It's been the best thing,
right? It's super beneficial. And I think another thing that made us start thinking about this is like after being at Sphinx, we realized that other Black people at other music schools are talking to each other, or they're meeting up, they're having fun together. And we like, why on earth am I sitting in my dorm room on a Friday night doing nothing?
Right.
When I could be out here making tacos with my friends like I was last night.
Man, and the thing is, like, we had such a good time. And it's not like, and to be like real with y'all, I think like 75% of the time we talked about Eastman, and half of the time was Dragon Theory. But it was just laced with like Blackness. Like, every approach to it was like, how much classes we got to take on the same 7 raggedy notes?
Right. They got me messed up in the following ways.
Right. I ain't doing no dictation. What y'all mean by it's like, it was laced with that kind of talking, but it was talking. Right. it was laced with that kind of speaking, but it was like
just like Classically Black. We could have put a microphone in there. That could have been an episode.
That would have been an episode. Literally, it would have been an episode.
My tutoring sessions, Richard is my tutor. He'd be like, so this joint right here.
Richard get on my nerve with that theory stuff, because he'd be like, oh, you know what the chord this is? I'm like, I don't care.
Right. He like, so I have diminished blase, that joint goes like this, and then this joint over here, it's the same one, but then this joint right here, I'm like,
what is the answer?
And then the other one be
like, in the other. It's just like, it's like it's been different. Like, we hang out game night, learning to play spades at Eastman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the places. Like, come to Eastman, get your artist diploma, and learn how to play spades. So I don't know. I think like after hearing, I remember speaking to Melissa White a couple summers ago. She told me about her, like, when she went to Curtis. She got all the Black people together and they went to the movies, and I was like, why don't we do that at Eastman? Like, why can't we just do? And I think, and we did that our game night was like so successful. We just sent a message like, hey y'all, we're playing This Is and Taboo and some other stuff, and we're gonna have some snacks, like, come through. And people came through, because people, I feel like you want to be part of a community, you want to be a part of like something bigger than yourself. I don't know, I just feel like it's just I don't know, I think it's important. So let us know if you have these experiences, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us. Let us know if you tried these things, if you tried to find community. Let us know in the comments if you have any advice for other people when they're trying to create a sense of community. Yeah, let us know what you think on the topic.
And we're moving on to Black Excellence.
Okay, so this week's Black Excellence is Andrew Brady.
Andrew.
I actually don't know Andrew. I know him through social media, but and we interact sometimes because he's hilarious. But aside from that, I have not met him in person. I don't think. Maybe I don't. My memory's trash. Andrew is the principal bassoon player of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, and he joined the Atlanta Symphony back in 2016. We already knew Andrew was singing from the beginning, because if you want From the Top,
right?
He performed on From the Top in 2010, and then he went on to attend Coburn for his bachelor degree. And then after that, he appeared with the Los Angeles Opera Company, Orpheus Chamber Orchestra, the Colburn School Orchestra, of course, before landing his prestigious seat as principal tune player in Atlanta Symphony. So that I just think that's just absolutely fantastic. And you actually know Andrew.
Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know, which is pretty much anyone. I played the bassoon in high school. And Andrew was my teacher for a little bit because my school, the first high school that I went to had like a partnership with Colburn. So while he was a student there, I was assigned to him, and he was my bassoon teacher. Toot toot.
Not toot toot. But yeah, we'll link the website where you can read more about Andrew on the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra page. And then we'll also link his socials so you can follow him on socials. So yeah, that's our Black Excellence. So exciting. You got a piece this week you forgot about, or are we getting out of here?
Sure do.
Here you go.
Not getting out of here anytime soon. No, I'm just kidding. I forgot about, and I don't know what made me look this up, but Dvorak 8. Oh my god. I love that symphony. I don't even know what made me look it up. Oh, you know what? I do know. And we haven't talked about Dvorak pretty much at all up until this point.
I don't think we have.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's surprising, especially considering his cello concerto.
But I was listening to, I saw this something on my YouTube talking about best melodies, like from symphonies, and it had the composers, and I was like, oh, the Dvorak one, it's gotta be Dvorak 8. It must be
right.
The opening cello line gotta be. It wasn't, but whatever. It was the English horn solo from Dvorak 9, which I guess. But
I actually really like the English horn.
Oh yeah, I really like the English horn too. But if we're talking about melody wise,
yeah,
But yeah. So I started listening to that symphony last night. I'm like, yeah, that first of all, the cello melody in the first movement, what? And then the last movement, that flute solo, I don't even know what, like, I know y'all be breathing hard when y'all see that come up, and I'm so sorry that he did that to you, but it sounds amazing, and thank you for suffering through it for the benefit of others, because it's lit. The whole symphony lit. And actually, I'm not gonna say that because I'm blanking on the middle two movements, but that's also like very common for me to blank on the middle two movements of symphonies for whatever reason.
Except when we talk about track 5. Who blanks on the movement too?
Oh, well. How could you? How could you?
It's exciting to see you stand for Dvorak. I enjoy Dvorak, but I don't stand.
I don't stand for him either. I don't know too like as much, but that symphony, also because I've played it a lot, but that symphony goes. And I've heard people say that Dvorak is not a good orchestrator.
I can agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, I ain't writing no parts, so I ain't saying too much. But.
Right, I haven't played enough Dvorak to say whether or not. I feel like I've only played 8 and 9.
I played 8 and 9. I feel like I played another one. I can't remember which one. Dvorak's not memorable to me. It's weird.
It depends. I've never really played. I don't think I've played anything outside of any Dvorak outside of those 2 symphonies.
I might have played 7.
Girl, I don't even know.
I might have played 7.
But
I couldn't hum it to you.
Right. But you did that with number 8. Okay, Auntie. I'm gonna just start coming up with all kind of pet names for these composers.
Could you imagine?
Auntie.
Wow.
Annie. You did that.
Wow. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Classically Black Podcast. Delanie's gonna link her favorite recording of Dvorak 8 in the description.
Sure will.
Yeah, follow us on social media. Like, comment, share, and let us know what you think about this episode in the comments. And we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.